Not My Bed Studios.
Okay, hi everybody. So I thought I'd shoot a funny video of all my signs. Since I'm working on a sign today for, I don't know that Durand guy, so I don't know how to say his first name in French. I'm gonna have to try to look that up. And so then I pulled out all my signs. So I just hang them up like this, and I have more than this. Some of them are put away. They're used less often. But I have more signs from all of my, since I started 3 years ago, working on my mission. Where are we? Started I think it was like spring 2022. Yeah, like 3 years. Or, well, no, we're going on 4. We're going on 4 years. Okay, so this one, St. Paul sabotages and erases First Nations research. That was a good one for Research Day. St. Paul teaches racism and genocide. I think I had that one a couple times. And actually, I should get these out. So this is my carrying case. You guys remember that? So this is how I carry my my signs around, right? When I'm, stomping around town doing my stuff. So I'm gonna have to be putting different signs in there. This was last time. So Julie Paquette is the director of exclusion and racism. So that's her real job. And her fake job is called director of the School of Social Innovation. This is Simon Tremblay-Pepin fabricates fake evidence. So that's what he did. I explained that last time. And then, so this is Aurélie's sign. So genocider, Aurélie Lacassagne set me up for exploitation. So that's what she did. And she's like one of the worst humans that I know. And a terrible example for her 2 girls. And this one's Heather's. Heather Eaton is a psycho. So racist. Heather Eaton weaponizes complaints against students, and that's what she does. And they're all it's very common in these institutions for them to weaponize internal processes against students and against each other. It's gotten way out of hand, and people on the left are acting as if like nobody knows about it when everybody knows about it, and nobody's doing anything about it, and it's ridiculous. This is everybody's favorite sign. I have it several times over. I also have a handheld sign with this on it. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is a scam. So, I'm not against diversity, equity, inclusion. The problem is that it's fake and they're using it as a license to discriminate against anyone they want. Okay? So, I'm an Anishinaabe, which is less than 0% of the Canadian population. Also, I'm white. So that is another grounds for discrimination. Also, I've been labeled as conservative, which I'm not. And that's another prohibited grounds for discrimination. So this one is this is what's her face? Leah Gazan, MP and NDP MP, and her policing speech bill. 254. So you'll see it was 4 something the first time she tabled it, it was 4 something, and now it's 254. So that's why instead of making a new sign, I just changed the number here. So I'm ready to protest Leah Gazan, and if I have time I can make new signs for Leah if she wants to put that bullshit back up. It's unconstitutional, and stop the fake hate industry and the fake hate bullshit to police speech. So denying justice is denialism. So this is the denialism. It's the same. It goes with that one because they're riding this whole fake denialism garbage, and that's their excuse for policing speech, which is total crap. And so then really what they're doing, I mean, it's a cover up. Like the genocide at Indian residential schools happened, and the cover up is ongoing. And that's part of this whole scam. That's why they didn't dig up any graves in Kamloops, friends. Okay? Stop the cover up. And like, you know, these people like tail feathers and these idiots that are saying, oh, you know, it's crazy to tell us to dig up the graves. No, it's not. That's so silly. And I mean, I'm not trying to be like insensitive talking about the graves, but this has gotten way out of hand. And like, I mean, you don't announce all those graves and then, you know, and talk about all the, you know, about it being a crime scene, you know, committed by Canada and the churches, and then not produce the evidence and you know, analyze it and write it all up so that Canadians know exactly what happened. Like, I don't know how they figured they were going to get away with that. You got to be so dumb. And I mean, you know, I don't know how Trudeau even talked them into that. Like, I mean, how stupid do you have to be? Just be like, well, like, I mean, then what? Then what? Like, I mean, just then nothing. And that's the end of the conversation. And it's like, well, Canadians aren't going to accept that. And what does Trudeau say? Oh, don't be so naive. Come on. Ridiculous. Canadians are like morbid, okay? They like all kinds of, like, all, you know, they like their murder shows and they like their blood and gore and their horror, everything else. And they have there's a morbid curiosity I've noticed amongst Canadians ever since I was a small girl, okay? So they're going to want to know all about it. Like all the way, and they're never gonna stop. They're gonna go all the way down that rabbit hole, chums. So I actually don't know how to say this. Is it like Michael Seguin ignores evidence? So that's similar to what this Duran guy did. So, and also he makes racist findings. Ooh, maybe I'll use that one for this Durand guy. That's a good one. I can't make two. I made two for this Mikel guy in the beginning of the year. So I'm ready anytime his name's on something. Because he's actually the leadership of that committee that ignored the evidence and that made racist findings. He's the prime person responsible for that. But there's two others that are responsible in that fake you know, retaliatory process based on false fabricated evidence that was fabricated by Simon Tremblay-Pepin. Okay. Racist Marcel Damphouse erases MMIWG survivors. So he had the nerve to preside over a mass on September yeah, it's like, is it the 30th? I think so. You know, Orange Shirt Day or whatever they want to call it, that national day. He had the nerve to preside over that mass over there. And yeah, so I was outside that Cathedral Notre Dame with this. Like, I mean, they must have thought that nobody would ever stand up for their human dignity, like that they could just get away with this kind of, like, they get so far into it, and like it causes brain damage to the point where they're like really literally incapable thinkers, and they don't even like they don't consider their ethics anymore, and they don't consider that what others could, like, you know, what the difference between real and fake. Just because people don't stand up for themselves doesn't mean they can't, doesn't mean there's no way to do so. Okay, because that's not real. I'm doing it. And like this idea that they're not accountable, that's not real if I'm out there. That's not real if I'm outside the Cathedral Notre Dame wearing the sign, chums. Okay? Chris Mackie weaponizes gender against students, and that's what she did. You know, and I mean, that's a more complicated situation, but I have tons of evidence that involves an ethical lawyer, Stephen Goen, and a giant binder of evidence that they just handed to me one day because they are so dumb. I mean, I just can't even. The level of stupidity is just out of this world. Like, I mean, I can't. There are no words. Georgette White Duck perpetuates genocide. So then Georgette White Duck runs a fake, Native center or whatever it is. And Georgette White Duck wanted to have some events now that that MMIWG survivor has been erased from the university. And so this is what she gets. You know, I'm often asked about that center and about Georgette running it and what's really the deal. And the deal is that it's fake, okay? And besides Georgette, there's nothing but fake Métis over there and a bunch of lies and BS. And trying to like, you know, and what's really going on is they're teaching these students how to erase First Nations, you know, by like how to genocide First Nations by erasure. And it's not okay. And, you know, and I mean, like, she literally puts on all this, she gets all dressed up and does this MMIWG stuff like she's some kind of MMIWG hero when they erased a survivor. Get out of here, Georgette. Get out. Go home. Get a real job, Georgette. Okay, SPU erases MMIWG survivors. So that one's from Ray the beginning, last summer when I first started. I got a lot of feedback that I shouldn't use like these kinds of letters because it's difficult for people to read. And so since then, you'll see, like, although I like the design, I like to design it, but people are saying that it's probably better to just stick to regular letters. So then from then on, but I still have the sign. It's a good sign, you know, and also like if I use the, you know, Université St. Paul, then there's supposed to be an L and an apostrophe. I learned that. And erasure is genocide. So that's what they're doing over there. And I thought it'd be fun to go through all my signs while I had them out today. So thanks for watching, champs.